Hello everyone, my name is Officer Cassandra Del Bosco. You've met me before, and today I have with me my good friend and colleague in recruitment, Officer Ashton Hill. So as you've seen from the post, if you're visiting us, today we want to talk about all the benefits of being a Metro Nashville Police Department, what that looks like, what that means. I'm going to go over things like longevity, job satisfaction, work-life balance, how can I affect change in the job, do I get to affect change, and then, all things recruiting. So also, obviously we're in recruitment, so we're definitely always hiring and interested in officers coming to the police department. We encourage you to please get on joinmnpd.com, share us anytime that you get a chance. We also have some other platforms.
Yeah, we have LinkedIn, Indeed, Handshake. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Police One, and we're monitoring those every day. So if you show any interest on any of those sites, we're making a goal to get back to you guys within 48 hours. If you have any questions, you just want to talk about it, reach out. You should be able to find one of those websites and reach out to us.
Also, when you go on our website, you will see, I think if you scroll down to the bottom on the main page, it has all of us on there, all the new recruiters, and then, of course, me, Officer Ashton Hill, Officer Larry Williams, Jim DeSantis, Ruben Mariano, Garen Hoskins, Daniel Fuentes, Sergeant Julie Neighbors, and Lieutenant Yvonne.
Yep.
So we're always available. You can click on any of us. I'm also the pre-academy coordinator, so that's something that we'll go over. But so I guess let's get started then.
Yeah.
Oh, it's important that we go over the benefits of being a Metro Nashville police officer because y'all need to know what we have to offer. So as far as longevity goes, we are one of the few states that still has a pension, and that pension is not going anywhere. Metro pays 100% of your pension, and you qualify for that. It's called the Rule of 75, but basically your years of service and your age have to equal 75, and then that's for your full pension. You actually will qualify for your pension after 10 years of service, which is what we call being vested. And then so medically and for retirement, you will qualify. So you would get your insurance as well as qualify for your pension after that 10-year vesting. We also have amazing insurance. Metro pays 75%, and there are places like General where you can go and there's no out-of-pocket expenses. We have Cigna and Blue Cross Blue Shield. In my experience, Cigna is more family-oriented and Blue Cross is more like single-oriented. But both are really great. Let's see, we've got in-service pay is $800 a year. That's a check that gets cut to you. Your clothing allowance is $500 a year. That's also a check that gets cut to you if you want it, or you can use it at our uniform store. What else?
Vision and dental.
Yeah, we got vision and dental. Those are all really great as well. We also honor domestic partners, which if you've been living with someone for up to no less than a year, and you can prove that you are financially supporting one another, then we honor domestic partnerships as if you were married. As far as pension, benefits, insurance, and all those things go, it would be no different than if you were legally married. Let's see what else. We've talked about job, let's see. Oh yeah, so our pay scale is progressive, and then it changes for each level, whether you're an officer, sergeant, lieutenant, and move on up. We have like a 10-grade pay scale, so you'll start out in the academy at a certain rate, and then I think it's like $19.50 an hour in the academy. It goes considerably up after that. While you're in FTO, you get another pay raise. When you get out on your own, you get a pay raise. After a year, you get another pay raise. We also have cost of living raises.
Yep.
There's longevity pay after you've been on for 5 years. Court time, you get paid time and a half. Anytime you are not on your shift, you get paid time and a half, and that is a minimum of 2 hours.
You get a 3% incentive for having an associate's degree and 6% bump in your pay for having a bachelor's degree.
And then, of course, if you're military, you can draw your GI Bill while you're in training with us. So that would be when you're in the academy and during FTO. So that's definitely a way to get that extra bump in pay if you're coming from the military. And of course, that'll segue us into the way you qualify to be a police officer. You have to be 21 years of age. You have to be a legal citizen of the United States. The only exception to that is if you were honorably discharged from the military and you're working on your citizenship. Let's see, 2 years active duty military, 2 years law enforcement, full-time law enforcement. Let's see, 3 years responsible work experience. That's 40-hour work week. What else? College, 2 years,
Right.
or 60 hours. I think that's,
Yep.
yeah, college, yeah. So that's the ways that you qualify for us. And then, of course, let's see. Sorry, guys, I try not to forget things, but I definitely do. We're running a lateral class in May. That'll be May 1st. And then we've got a class starting in February that's a regular trainee class, but people that are applying now, the chances are you're not going to be able to get into that one. That's going to be a real tight squeeze for you. But don't worry. We have 3 other dates that are available. We've got, let's see, May the 16th will be the next regular trainee class, then August 16th and November 16th. Of course, all that stuff is on our website and available for you if you need to look that up.
Yeah, the lateral class for the academy it's shortened. It's 12 weeks long.
Mm-hmm.
The regular, if you don't have any prior law enforcement, that's like a 6-month class. So you're going to learn everything that you need to know. And for the laterals, it's going to be basically going over law. And
Yeah, it's like a college environment.
yeah,
Yeah. We try to take out some of, if you're a lateral and you're watching this, you basically don't want to get run through the gauntlet and go through another academy, and we get that. We all had to experience that. So, which is great. It's great training, and it is important for becoming a police officer to have some stress inoculation and other things. But we've tried to balance that with a college environment. But for the laterals, it's mostly college environment.
yeah.
So if you got started in our process, you would go to joinmnpd.com and you would fill out an initial app. Then we would get back to you very quickly, sometimes 48 hours a week, but it's usually very fast. We would invite you to a civil service test date, and what that is we call it civil service test date, but it's a physical test and a written test that you would come to us, and there's a few things you would have to download, and you have to fill out a personal history statement, but all that stuff is self-explanatory when you click on our links, and we're going to send you all kinds of instructions. So none of this stuff we're telling you is something that you're going to have to remember or go online and print out, or So then after that process, then let's say it's a pass-fail, so we'll let you know pass-fail, and then just know if you do fail. That doesn't mean you can't come back. We welcome you back. We've had people fail and come back and be amazing police officers. That doesn't mean anything. Maybe you were just nervous. Maybe you overthought it. It happens. Maybe you're not having your best day. Happens to all of us.
Yeah.
Then your background person will get your file. As soon as they get your file, they're going to contact you by email and most likely call you as well. And then after that, there's a chief's panel review, and then we have conditional offer day. And then in conditional offer day, you will come to our office and we will run you. This is a long day, so just expect that. We're going to run you through your medical and your psych and something we call a CBSA, which is like a polygraph. You're going to get fingerprinted, you'll get a medical eval, and we'll do a social media check. So that's just something to be mindful of. Social media can get a lot of folks in trouble. So, and then if you have any questions about like tattoos and drug use and all that kind of stuff, all that stuff is on our website as well. It's very well written out and easy to understand. And then you're gonna, next stage would be final panel. That's the point where I get to call you and ask you if you want to get into pre-academy, which I think is an amazing program. And I don't just say that because I'm working in it. I would have loved to have gotten in that whenever I was an officer, because I would have taken advantage of that immediately.
Yeah.
And mainly it's because we put you in an environment with other police officers, and you get to see what they do. I mean, it's like a kid in a candy shop. I mean,
It was great. Yeah, I did it myself. I was working at a store folding T-shirts when I got the call to become a police officer, and they offered me a pre-academy spot. So I immediately was signed up. I got to do my insurance. I got to get a nice pay bump. I worked in the old headquarters, and I was right next to the warrants division, the records division, just talking to everybody. I was put along with some other pre-academy pre-hires, and we got to go into the academy together day one. So I absolutely love that I was given that opportunity.
Yeah, and it is a great opportunity, and like she said, we do pay you. It would be the same pay that you would get in the academy. Now for laterals, we're going to pay you full pay as if you were out on your own, all the way through pre-academy and all the way through academy, and so there's a huge benefit for laterals, and you're going to get your incentives as well. But for a regular trainee, we're going to pay you that academy pay. And like she said, you're going to get your benefits are going to kick in after your first paycheck, and then it's going to go towards your longevity as well. So that's a huge benefit. I mean, a couple months is still a couple months that you can retire, sooner than you would have been able to. And then, after that, as soon as the academy starts, you'll be starting.
Yep.
There is something that I wanted to go over. So the whole point of this is to talk about, when I think about a job, and when I was thinking about becoming a police officer, I had to think about what's important to me. Like what do I want in a job? And the most important thing is quality of life. Like, how am I going to get that? What does that mean? And what does that look like? That's why we went over the insurance and the benefits. And also, I forgot to tell you, we have FMLA, which is something that you qualify for. Let's say you have a child that's injured, or a loved one that's injured that you're in charge of, or you're having a baby, or you're adopting. We will give you 30 days paid leave with absolutely no penalty to you. You will not lose sick days, and you will not lose holidays or vacation days. And we're going to give you 34 paid vacation days a year. You're going to accrue 1 sick day a month as well. So there are not very many jobs that you get 30 whole days off. And you can take them all at once if you need them. As long as a doctor signs off on that, you're good to go. I mean, and when I say you're not penalized, you're not penalized. If that's not quality of life, I don't know what is. And I have never, ever had anyone balk at me whenever I had something personal or had something with my family where I had to get time off. That is so important. I mean, that's everything. So your work-life balance, that's what you think about when you think about a job. Yeah, the pay's good. Yeah, I get to do cool stuff. But are you happy? Are you content? Do you feel like you're doing something that you've wanted to do, and that you've got quality? I mean, you're really getting satisfaction from that. So I think we segue into, whenever you want to become a police officer, or you have a heart to serve, or you're interested in something military related, any of those kind of jobs, police, fire, medical, customer service, you want to know, can I affect change in someone's life in a real way? How can I? How do I? Will I be able to? And I think Ashton might have some insights into that for us.
Yeah. Well, when I joined, I knew that I needed to take a job that was fulfilling for me. I couldn't just go make a paycheck and run the rat race, and you just go work for a business or a corporation. And I was lucky enough, I got to work for a nonprofit out of college, and that's how I figured out I am not going to be happy unless I am doing something that feels important to me. That's something that isn't just, I didn't want to live a life just for me. And that's part of having that heart to serve. And I think that if you are even thinking about becoming a police officer, if that's something that you want to do, then that's signing up and telling us you want to do it, that's the biggest step. I mean, that's a big decision to make, and it was important to me to know, like, that I was giving back, and that I was putting good out in the world. So I've gone on calls from I lost my wallet to I've lost my child, and to be the person that somebody calls for help, and knowing that you can truly help somebody when they need it. You know, there's so much fulfillment for me in that, and I can go home and think about my day and all the people that I've helped. It's not all about making traffic stops and chasing people and picking up people for warrants. It's about making real human connections with people. I know that every call that I go on, every call that our dispatch center gets, it's because somebody's having a bad day and they want me or somebody in this uniform to come help them. And that's such a great responsibility, but it's also how I feel lucky that I get to be that person that can come to you and ask you, what do you need? How can I help you? You know, my philosophy that I learned from an officer that I rode with when I was still a rookie, he told me that his goal, every person he talked to, even if it was a traffic stop, was to have a positive police interaction with that person, to make it a better, safer Nashville for the citizens, to let citizens know, like, hey, we're here for you. And that's something I've taken with me my entire career, and that's my goal, is to leave and go home and leave a better Nashville than when I started the shift. So if that's something that you're interested in, you want to, you know, it sounds cliche, but you know, if you want to change the world, if you want to do something for the greater good, this is the job for you, because there's nothing more fulfilling that I think that I could have chosen to do.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I've been doing this almost 19 years, and then
8 years for me.
Yeah. I can't tell you how grateful I am, how much I've grown as a person, like, in this job and in my relationships, and just the blessings greatly outweigh any of the trials and tribulations. So
yeah, there are hard days, but I think that this job has made me a kinder person, a more understanding person, more empathetic. You know, we go into people's homes and we talk to them and listen to their problems, and it's a great way to experience humanity and experience the city.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's definitely changed me for the better.
Oh yeah, I know. Absolutely no doubt in my mind about that.
Yep.
And there's no really monetary value that you can put on that, you know. I mean, so that is been the point of today, and why I wanted to talk about what is quality of life. What is that to you? What does that look like? And we've talked about what that looks like to us, and I can tell you that every officer on this department could mirror almost everything that we've said to you in some way or form, some story, some moment that that was the it for them. You know, like when your first day on the job, your first experience. I mean, some of those things are terrifying or different, or you know, but it's hard work, but it's a good, satisfying, hard day's work.
Yeah.
When you get home at the end of your shift and you might be exhausted, but you did something real, something life-changing. And it's not every single shift that happens, but it's definitely once a week.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
So with that, the qualities that we are looking for in an individual are integrity, problem solvers, good communicators, critical thinkers, and somebody that possesses empathy. And if you have those things, come on, and we will definitely train you to do the rest.
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one requirement that any police officer, for who we're looking for, just be a good person and care about people. And then all of the police stuff, we'll train you to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously you have to be a good communicator, and what we're doing right now is what you do in the job. If you like being around people and you like interacting, you're perfect for
Yeah, this is a great job. If you like talking to people, meeting people, this is a perfect job.
If you're a storyteller, this is definitely the job.
Oh, we like to share stories. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put a yarn on you for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if did we have any questions? Oh, sorry. I'm going to try to answer
Got
these
some
questions
questions?
for you. Yeah. Let's see. Well, if I can pull it up. Does your pre-service time court count toward your time in grade? Count toward your time in grade. So, I guess, are you talking about like military
Or
as
maybe
far
it was
or like a lateral?
service. Yeah.
So we did go up to the PO3 pay
Right.
for laterals. So we are offering a bump up in pay to the next grade for laterals coming in as if you'd been an officer for 3 years,
Right.
basically. So now as far as like, are we giving you like credit for like 15 years of service? And no, we're not. That would be awesome if we could do that, but that's not something we're currently offering. But you're talking about 60,000 plus that you have an opportunity to make literally in the academy, in pre-academy. I don't think any level of bonus or moving.
Yeah, the incentives.
Yeah, your pay is going to outweigh that, and then the amount of overtime that you're going to be able to get, especially once you get out on the streets, like
There's so much overtime.
at minimum, this is just an average of, I think last year it was $7,500, and I mean I definitely did not make the minimum. I well exceeded that, and those are just.
Yeah.
It is so easy to pick up an overtime
Yeah.
gig.
There's-
You're making time and a half.
There's always something going on.
Yeah.
It's Nashville.
And it's exciting stuff. It's not
Yeah.
boring stuff. It's like a concert. It's
Yeah.
a,
It's
a hockey game, a football game.
We worked the NFL draft, concerts, 4th of July, New Year's. The Grand Prix came through. We worked that. I mean, you're never going to not be able to find an overtime gig, for sure.
Oh, and then the other question from the same person was, what if you work for another Metro department? As long as you work for Metro, that will go towards your longevity. So yes, you will get credit for that.
Yeah. And that's just Metro government.
I mean, towards your retirement, yeah. Metro government, that's what it would go toward. Let's see. I think I got one more. Okay, so yes, that's a good question. The question is do I get the GI Bill? Can I draw the GI Bill during pre-academy? You actually cannot until you're in the academy. So that was actually something that came up recently, and it would be nice if you could, but it's actually not considered training because we're hiring you as a civilian at that time. But as soon as you get into the academy, yes, you'll be able to draw your GI Bill, and then the full 6 months through field training officer, you'll be able to draw it as well. So it's quite a bit of money that you're going to be able to draw. Let's see. And then of course Charles is always asking us what it's like
Hey,
to be
Charles.
Metro Police.
Yeah. Shout out to Charles. He's our
we-
biggest fan.
We absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way to put that. So it's actually. Oh, I know what we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about mobility on the police department. So
Oh, yeah.
all the different jobs that you can do on the department.
Yep.
There's 60 plus transfer things. That's crazy. I mean, you could literally
We have an investigative unit for everything.
investigative. We've got undercover units. We've got specialized units. I mean, traditionally you always hear SWAT, K9. Yes, we have those. We have aviation. We have our own helicopters. I mean, there's so much. We
Yeah,
have a
hazardous.
special.
Yeah, bomb squad, hazardous device unit.
Yeah, we've got a ECS unit that responds to. I mean, we've gone to other states before to help them with cleanup Our emergency contingency section does that stuff. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
we've got boats. We got
you can do drill and ceremony team, mounted unit. Everybody loves the horses, and then all of the investigative units.
Yeah,
If that's
major
something,
crimes,
I mean,
homicide.
I know people that joined just because they were helping as a civilian doing sex trafficking, and they became an officer because they knew they eventually were going to want to become a detective doing that.
Yeah.
But you just have to put your time in on patrol, which that's everybody, and then they're constantly posting for spots. People are promoting, and
Yeah, I mean, when we tell you that there's mobility, you could literally sit down at your computer and look up and see 5 postings, 2 postings, 3 postings. I mean, it's 3 years as an officer before you can transfer, and it's even shorter if you're at your actual station. There are things at each station that are available as well. You don't have to have those 3 years, but to become a sergeant, you only have to have 4 years on.
FTO was 3, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is what I did.
Yeah.
Before I came over here, but
yeah, I mean, Ashton's talked about being an FTO before. You mind running over that?
Yeah.
real quick?
So you're gonna graduate the academy. You don't just get thrown to the wolves. You get to ride with somebody like me. I'm a field training officer. So you'll do 6 months in the academy, graduate, and then you got 6 months with a field training officer. You're gonna break that up into 2-month tours. That's 3 tours. Each precinct has all FTOs on every shift. You'll do 2 months on days at Midtown, and then you'll do 2 months on B shift in West Precinct. So you'll get to kind of experience the different times a day and the different issues that each precinct faces, and that gives you a better opportunity to learn. Some calls you're just not going to get in Central Precinct where downtown is compared to if you work in South Precinct. And then during that time, you're going to learn how to use the computer, how to talk on the radio, drive with lights and sirens, how to talk to people, take reports, and you'll have your FTO with you the entire time, making sure that all your questions get answered. You get to watch your FTO work, and pretty much just walk you through the job. And by the time those 6 months are over, you get an evaluation done every week where your FTO kind of tells you, oh, you need to work on this, or you're doing great with this, keep it up. And you become a solo officer after 6 months, and you get in the car by yourself for the first time. It's a great program. I've really loved doing that and being a part of that early career development. It's nice the excitement that a new academy graduate will bring.
Oh yeah.
To the job.
I was not a field training officer, but I loved having the new kids show up to the detail. I say kids, I mean, grown men and women, but because they had that excitement, and it reminded me of how I felt when I first started.
Yeah.
And so it was great. I mean, they would be on their rotation with their FTO, and sometimes you would get one ride with you when they're like out of town or at training or something, and they just remind you of why you became the police.
Yep.
And it's great to have we have a young department, and we're moldable and makeable into, just great human beings. I mean, but yeah, it's a fantastic program. I mean, and they become so important to you, like your FTO, it's kind of like your favorite teacher, your coach, whatever. They become an important part of your life. I mean, my first FTO, I need to give a shout out to Sergeant Jim Freeman, because he was my first FTO, and I will tell you, he still checks on me to this day. Almost 19 years later, he still checks on me. I mean, I can't even tell you, and it'll be at the best times. He'll just call me just to check on me, and I consider him my mentor. I mean, he taught me pretty much everything I know about police work because he was my first one. I mean, this other rotations, but I mean, he got me into everything, took me everywhere. I mean, that's the kind of quality interaction that you get with an FTO, and it's priceless. Like, you can't.
Oh yeah, We're having a blast. That was always my goal whenever I got a rookie was we're going to have fun out here. So just relax and let's go to our first call. And I do enjoy watching them. Now I've had several now. I can barely keep up with how many I've had. I've only been an FTO three years.
Yeah, but I mean on a 6-month rotation. Yeah.
And they still text me, call me.
Yeah,
They'll call and ask me a question, and they've been an officer by themselves for 2.5 years and ask me a question and check up on me, and I'll check up on them. You know, they'll get Officer of the Month for something, and I'm like, oh, I taught them that.
Thanks, I'm going to take credit for that. Yeah.
I'm playing.
No, but no, I mean, it matters. It definitely matters.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't have any more questions, I think we're going to shut down. Just one thing, please do not forget to go to joinmnpd.com. Please share us every chance that you get. And remember, we are available, and you can come see us in person if you need to. We're located at 1417 Murfreesboro Pike.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Let us know. That's what we're here for.
All right, y'all. Thank you very much.